All right, so a couple of safety features about the tent. We have a fire alarm that's at the very top. It's just past this little canopy lighting. It's mostly for smoke. It will tell me, it will send an alarm to my phone and let me know if you are having some sort of compromising situation. It will go off potentially from this having some backflow or anything like that. It just lets me know to come down here and check on you guys. Another feature we have down here is the carbon monoxide detector. This will go off about 50 parts per million. It's extra sensitive. You don't actually have to worry, or you're not in danger until you reach about 100 parts per million, and that's even after like prolonged exposure. So it's just kind of nice to have that little extra safety there. Fire extinguisher. This guy is down here. It lives in this little crate behind the stove. Be very careful if the stove is going because you don't want to brush up against any of this. Everything is hot. This is the only cool portion that you're going to have on the stove. The tab is broken off of this fire extinguisher, so it is literally ready to just point and shoot. If you guys are ever experiencing something like the fire is getting out of control, or you feel a little bit nervous about something, it is simply easier to go ahead and just douse it. Or if you're trying to leave and it's still going, go ahead and just spray it. It is easier to just go ahead and knock that out than it is to replace anything. I'm going to put that back right there. Tent alarm, we already covered that. Tent lock is over here. It lives right here. This is really an optional thing for you guys. Here's the instructions on how to set it up. You make your own code. So nobody ever has that code except for you guys, and you simply reset it before you leave. Definitely do not recommend ever locking yourself into the tent. Just in case you ever had a need to escape for any reason, it is just better to use the tent lock or a tent alarm and just break the connection and go ahead and get out. This might hinder your escape if ever need be. Okay, so safety first. Just be careful with that, but definitely you can lock up the tent. Feel free to do so if you're storing any of your valuables inside the tent when you leave. Firearms are always welcome out here, and we'll get to some of the reasons as to why with animals. Surrounding areas, there is a 5-foot ledge, 5 foot or more ledge that leads down into. It's getting too close and falling down into that pond, so just be super careful, especially at night, to stay within the lighted areas. Piece of property is old farmland. This used to be an old hog pen. Back in those days, they buried a lot of garbage, a lot of trash, a lot of glass. So those things are surfacing as we go along, and we're just picking them up as best we can. So it'll probably be a little process. We also have a neighbor who does occasionally hit some golf balls towards the pond. So you just keep an eye out on that. Usually he doesn't do any of that when people are here. But you'll occasionally stumble across them out here or see them as you go along. There'll be a pet safety tie out so you guys can hook up your pets. It'll be in this area so they can go to the bathroom and so forth like that. Do not leave your pet unattended. We are out in the woods and we are close to state parks. We do have coyotes and foxes and things like that, especially with development going on. It pushes them closer to residential areas. Be very, very mindful of that. Same thing with leaving your food out and stuff. Don't give them a reason to come up.